A felon convicted in a federal child sex trafficking case is back on the run, and a man who escaped in a re-entry center here in Baltimore has been captured. Here's Alexa Ashwell with Maryland's Most Wanted.
We begin with Duane Mason. The 50-year-old is wanted in 2 jurisdictions, including where he was last known to reside here in Baltimore City, as well as Frederick County, where investigators say back in 2010 he tried to sell a young teen for sex. February 2024, Frederick County, Maryland. Convicted sex offender and felon Duane Mason has found himself once again in trouble with the law. 50-year-old is scheduled for a hearing in a felony drug possession and distribution case. But on this day, records show, fails to appear in court. A warrant is issued for his arrest. Around that same time, nearly 50 miles away in Baltimore City, a judge is also signing off on a warrant for Mason's arrest. The crime? Failing to register as a sex offender, a condition of his release for a child sex trafficking conviction nearly 15 years ago, and why the U.S. Marshals Service has now joined the search.
Mason was actually convicted in the federal court of sex trafficking a minor.
Deputy U.S. Marshal Al Maresca taking us back to Frederick County back in 2010. That's when investigators say Mason helped another man with the sex trafficking of a young teen girl.
This individual contacted Mason and advised he had a female he wanted to put to work.
James contacts Mason and says, "I have a girl."
They took photos of her and posted on Backpage.
The online website Backpage, long used for prostitution, has since been seized by the federal government. Investigators say an undercover officer answered the ad and agreed to meet the teen at a motel where he gave the suspects $200 cash.
They contacted the female in order to set up a date. Fortunately for this child, the date was with law enforcement. They exchanged currency, not only able to take the juvenile into custody, but they ultimately arrested Mason and 2 other individuals.
Mason was sentenced to 10 years in federal custody, followed by probation. But shortly after his release, Mason found himself back in trouble with the law. In 2019 for resisting arrest, and in 2020 for the felony drug case where records show he failed to show up to court, triggering one of his 2 warrants.
Mason has an extensive criminal history that dates back to the early 90s. He has arrests for drug possession, prostitution, and assault. And so we have every reason to believe that he's engaging in ongoing criminal conduct.
How problematic is sex trafficking of minors still today?
This is an ongoing problem for the last several decades. We've just become more and more aware of it. Fortunately, law enforcement is doing everything we can to intervene. We have set up multi-jurisdictional task forces, and we do everything we can to protect children.
Take a good look. Mason stands at about 6'3" and weighs approximately 200 pounds. Investigators say he has extensive family and community ties across Maryland, including Prince George's, Montgomery, and Frederick counties. He's also last known to reside here in Baltimore City. If you have any information regarding his whereabouts, you're asked to contact the U.S. Marshals Service. The agent's direct line number here, 202-819-5058. Update, the man who investigators say escaped from a reentry facility while serving time for manslaughter has been captured. Less than 1 week after appearing on Maryland's Most Wanted, investigators say Hakeem Burrows surrendered at a home in Washington, D.C.
We developed information that he was actually residing in D.C. We tracked him for a little while before ultimately tracking down to a specific location. We were able to make contact with Burrows through a family member. To his credit, rather than draw more negative attention to him, he realized law enforcement was onto him, and he decided to come outside and surrender.
Agents already had the house surrounded.
Correct.
If you recognize any of our fugitives featured, remember, you can always remain anonymous, and you could earn a reward. I'm Alexa Ashwell, and this is Maryland's Most Wanted. Thanks for watching. I'm Alexa Ashwell. Here's another video to watch. Also, please take a moment and subscribe to our channel.